Yo, hi everybody, my name is Alex Anchikov and this is the lesson special for videosmile.ru and I'm going to show you what will be in the lesson. We will cover this option of animation of handwritten fonts or logos that are written this way. Also go over the tricks that can be added to the animation to make it more beautiful and spectacular. But before starting the lesson, I'd like to pay your attention that the animation is divided into two parts. I did it on purpose to show the variability of the technique. It means that one can create endless number of options using the basic principle. Everything depends on your imagination. So, let's start the lesson. Firstly, we make a new project and new composition. I will name it Logo Animation. Duration is 5 seconds and it is enough. Okay. Next, bring here the logo that you are going to animate. Grab and move it to the program and add it to the timeline. I'm going to animate the only one letter, but on this example, you'll be able to understand all the technique. Okay, let's imagine that the letter is ready. In general, there are a lot of techniques of fonts animation in After Effects, but I'm going to tell you about the 3D stroke plugin of Trapcode. To have the ability to use it, you should create a new solid. The color doesn't matter, so press OK. In case, layer new solid. Next, go to the Effects, choose Trapcode, and choose 3D stroke. OK. Nothing has happened because 3D stroke works like a mask. To see it in the preview window, you should draw a mask on this layer. I use pen tool, select it, and draw the path that we need. I'm going to draw this path with a little extra place and further will tell you what for. For example, I draw a little pre-path and further draw a letter path. My 3D stroke is bugging a bit and doesn't display a line. Hope you will not have such a problem, and for your convenience, you could turn off the layer. And after creating the mask, you could turn it on and tune as you need. What is next? I'm trying to match the stroke and the letter. I better get the set that it isn't worth to increase the width of the stroke because in future you will have a bunch of problems with it. So do it as precise as you can. Okay, I think that the stroke is okay now and I like the form. And now I can turn to the animation of the stroke. Name it first stroke or stroke 1. Duplicate it. I'll tell you a bit later what for I'm doing it now. Turn off duplicated stroke and turn to the animation of the stroke 1. 3D stroke has a lot of transforms that can be tuned. And at the beginning I need such transforms like start and end. Changing the slider, you see that the stroke is being drawn from 0 to 100. So we're going to animate this setting. Click the clock, put the key, value is 0 from the 0 frame and slide it about 20 frames more, and the value will be 100. To open the animated keys, you need to press U on the keypad. Okay, let's play the animation and have a look. You see that the stroke is starting to appear. I changed the value of the last key. Select it by right-click, go to the key assistant and choose Easy In. The animation became softer and smooth at the ending. I mean that the speed of the animation is higher at the beginning than in the ending. Also, you can tune the speed by Graph Editor. Click here and change this curve as you like. It is not the lesson to follow step by step, but to use the technique. Okay, so we've got the animated stroke 1, and let's turn it off and turn to the stroke number 2. The task is that the second stroke should be exactly the same as the letter is. So, we should delete extra dots of our path. To do it, you should click Pen Tool menu and select Delete Vertex Tool and use it. Match it exactly as the letter. You may add with. Okay. And by the same way, I'm going to animate the appearance of the second stroke. Okay, the second part of settings of animation is ready. Let's deduct the letter from the stroke. Put the logo behind the stroke too, and in the mode's track mat you should select alpha mat. What is on the screen? You see that the stroke draws the letter. It is the simplest and the most basic part of the first animation. I think that in some cases this animation is enough. Maybe when you have a very strict logo or you don't need any other decorations on it. So by this technique you can animate the whole logo and it will be cool. But in the lesson the show must go on. So we take the first stroke and put it above, turn on, and do something special. Now the first and the second stroke are being drawn at the same time, but we need the stroke number 2 to be a bit later. We need it to start drawing at the moment the line touches the second animation. I can decrease opacity to see it. Okay, like this way. I want this first stroke to be a drop, tiny drop that will draw our logo. To do it, I will use some transform that I can tune. I open taper and make it active by putting the tick here. You see that the stroke changed its form. It is not a line, but sharp points appeared. That is what I'm gonna tune. By changing the value of taper and you will see that the caps can be thin and thick. And now it is more looking like a drop. But I think that the lifetime of this stroke is too long and it should vanish at the moment that we need. To do it, we should animate another setting of the stroke. It is called start. Let's move about 5 frames or even 2, 3, it depends on your speed of animation, and put the first key and the value will be 0. Slide a bit further the last key that we have had and put the start value like 100%. Now you see that the stroke is disappearing. Okay, let's change the color of the first stroke and make it the same as the letter has. And play the animation. Have a look. You see that the letter is appearing from the kind of a drop. It has a direction. It flies into the letter and draw it. Okay, let's tune the keys a bit. And turn to another step. Let's duplicate the stroke with the pre-drawing. And we can pre-compose. stroke number 1 and number 2 and the logo. Okay, turn it off for a while. Firstly, you can duplicate the animation several times and place it like a stairs by moving few frames. Then go to the effects, find their fill effect and choose different colors. So, I've changed the gap to be only one frame, and now see that the animation has an additional effect that I think looks lit. It is not necessary to use 3 colors. You can use just 2 or even 5 or 10. It all depends on you. If I scale the letter, you will see behind the letter layers. To fix it, you can select the first layer, then go to the Effects, choose Matte, and use Simple Tracker. The value should be 1. Then copy it and paste it to the second layer. Now we see that there is no borders behind layers. Okay. What else? There are endless number of options how the animation can look. I will show you my own and my favorite one. I turn on the third stroke, change the color to another one, press OK, then change the width of the stroke. I think that I animated these settings, so I need to turn it off. Turn off the animation by unlock the lock. When you click this clock to be inactive, all the keys are deleted, so no need to do it by hand. Okay. I've tuned the width. Next I'm going to change a bit the path of the stroke because I don't want it to repeat exactly the basic path. I just move the points of the mask a bit, and of course it is randomly, but please do it smooth. Okay, have a look. Now we see that the stroke is moving with our animation. But we can do an effect of later appearance. I think it will look nicer. Also, we can tune the value of taper and make it like that. Taper has a setting of curves, and we can make them smoother, I think. It will look better. I don't like this corner and I'll edit it. Okay. Also, there is a tricky hack that I like and that we can add here now. The effect that the stroke is enlacing the letter. To do such an effect, you should make a new solid. Bring here 3D stroke and going to draw a mask like a spiral. Oh, that is like a shooter here. And I'm just trying to decorate the animation. And by this, I'd like to say that you should do experiments. Try it. Maybe it will be cool. Okay. Now you see that the curls are above the letter, but we need them to be partly behind the letter. We need to duplicate the letter. Then put it behind the curls. And by using mask, recover the parts that we need or actually that we don't need. We can turn off the stroke for a while, and now we see the effect that stroke has a path around the letter. Let's animate it. Go to the settings of 3D stroke, use and the value is 0, slide the timeline, and the value will be 100%. And the same with the disappearing effect. Okay. Let's short the lifetime of our mask that covers the letter. To cut any layer you need to press Alt plus square bracket. If it is opened, so it will cut left side and closed bracket right side. Okay, have a look. I'd like to edit the graph, edit the keys. Okay, have a look. It looks nice. Let's turn on one more stroke and put it above and play the animation all together. Okay. You can add as many lines and strokes as you like. You can shift the paths not to look like a copy paste. Also, you can edit it by timeline to make the speed different. Also, the lines can be above or behind the letters. All depends on your imagination and sense. Okay, let's leave this animation as it is looking now and add something more. I think that it would be late to start this animation with a tiny drop that will have grown up to such an animation. I will pre-compose all the animation now. Just select all the layers, then press Layer, Pre-compose, name it as you like. Actually, to name layers is a good manner, and I don't have such a manner, but for you I will do it. So, main animation. Press OK. Let's imagine the path of our future drop. Okay, have a look, and this point is the start of the basic animation. So let's add one more zigzag. Make a new solid. Okay, go to the effects, bring 3D stroke, use pen tool, and draw one more curl. Okay, I think this path is enough. Name it drop. And let's animate it. Use Start Settings. Actually, to make it looking like a drop, real drop, we need to short this path. I'm going to use taper settings, activate it, and let's make a drop form like this one. Okay, so my drop will be looking like this one. Okay, maybe we should short more its time. And turn on the main animation. So now we should match the time of start of one animation and the end of another one. Okay, I've tuned the key a bit and reached this result. There are no rules of doing it, only your intuition. You just should do, have a look, like or don't like, and that's all. And this is the basic principle of animation, such as logos or fonts. I think that this design will be useful for you at least for once in your life. And also I can tell you about bugs and problems that you can face. If you look at this logo, let me bring it here. Yeah, logos are different, and the more tricky it is written, the more difficult to match the stroke to the letters of the original one. For example, I will show you what can happen. So make a new solid, do everything like the previous project, and for example, I'm going to animate this letter. And have a look. Okay, let me flaunt this bug for you. Okay, sometimes when stroke isn't able to cover the font exactly, and you'll see such messes or hangnails, and it looks not good at all. Now you see them. And the solution of this problem is in hand editing and fixing. Don't leave such an artifacts if you would like the animation look smooth. So in this case, for example, let the animation is okay. We should pre-compose the letter, then select pen tool, check that nothing is selected, and draw a form by shape. A form that covers the bug. Now the shape covers this bag, and we can deduct using track matte and alpha invert matte. Here it is. But at this moment we got another bag. So What should we do? We should find the moment where this patch is not needed, and after we should cut this layer, this patch layer, and you see that the bug is fixed. And now we have the good animation. The number of patches can be really big. I don't know exactly, but yes, it happens. For example, to animate such a logo, I need to fix it in many places, yes. As for the technique, I would like to tell you that the animation of the whole logo can be divided into several parts, and you should see these parts. For example, here, the capital letters will have their own animation, then this line, this underline, will have its own animation. Parts of the words that are written as one word will have a stroke animation like an imaginary path of the pen or brush, but in some cases you will need to interrupt and make a new stroke. All in all, using my advices and recommendations, you will easily create a lit and stylish animation. That's all, thank you, see you!